Okay, this question wants to know if given an original function, what is the image function? So they've said what's the rule of the image of that. So we're going to get a rule saying y equals some function of x in the end. Well, we need to first of all see what happened to map just some standard point xy to its image point. So what is the image point if you take this standard point xy? Well, the first thing that happens, if I go through step by step, is we get a dilation from the x-axis by a factor of 3. Dilation from the x-axis by a factor of 3. So remembering that the x-axis is this axis along here. So if you had a point here, it's now 3 times as far away, right? That's a vertical dilation. So we're actually making the x stay the same, but the y is now 3 times y. Okay, that's the first thing that happened. Let's just remove that out of the way, and we'll continue seeing what happens to our point. The next thing, we have a reflection in the y-axis. We know when we reflect in the y-axis, your x becomes minus x. So that was what happened in the next step. Third thing that happens is we have a translation of 1 unit in the negative direction of the x-axis. So the this minus x goes to the left by 1 unit. The actual point gets dragged left, so you take 1 off it, and we have 3y still. And finally, a dilation from the y-axis by a factor of 5. Now, this here is the y-axis going vertically, so if your point was here, it's now 5 times as far away. It's been dilated from the y-axis. That's a horizontal stretching. So the final thing that happened here was this minus x minus 1 that we had, it was times by 5 to make it go 5 times further away. And we had 3y sitting there. So if we went through all the things that happened to our point, we would end up with that point there. So I'm just going to say our image point, our image point is x prime y prime, and our image point is gained by taking 5 times of negative x minus 1 to make your x prime and 3 times of y to make your y prime. Well, if that's the case, then I can say that x prime is equal to 5 times negative x minus 1. And I can say that y prime equals to 3y. So that's how our image point was generated. But this question is wanting to know the rule of the image, or the new function that we get. So I'm going to just get y equals here. So I get y equals y prime on 3. So then I'm going to get x equals over here. So I've got to do a little bit of work. I've got x prime on 5 is equal to minus x minus 1. So I'm trying to make x the subject. So I've got x prime on 5 plus 1 equals minus x. And so I'll just make myself a bit more room above here now, having done that, and just write in the final thing that I've got that x is now equal to, and it'll be minus of x prime minus 5 over 5, rather than just x prime plus 5 over 5, because that was a minus x. All right, so I've made each the subject of it. So y is equal to y prime on 3, and x is equal to minus x prime minus 5 on 5. Now let's go back to our original function, which is f of x equals root x. F of x equals root x. In other words, y equals f of x, so y is equal to root x was our original function. So I'll just write that down here. Y is equal to the square root of x was what we originally had. Now, we're saying here that that's going to be the same as y prime on 3, because y is y prime on 3 equals the square root of, and then we go over here to figure out what x is, and it's minus x prime minus 5 all over 5. So y prime is equal to 3 the square root of minus x prime minus 5 all over 5. Now, if you want, you can get the minus out of this top line and just put it out the front. Y prime equals 3 root of minus of x plus 5 all over 5. And now I can get rid of my primes and write down the new function. Y is equal to 3 root of minus of x plus 5 over 5. So that's my new function, and if it's going to be written with function notation, our new function of x, is 3 and then root of minus of x plus 5 all over 5. Once again, I missed putting that minus sign in, so what I'm going to do is just whack it on the bottom.